This episode is not only a turning point for this arc, but also one of the best Natsuki Subaru moments, elevating him more towards a hero that many can place their trust in. But before we get to that amazing damn speech, we must first go on to the section of Al and Emilia's conversation. After Aldebaran defeated some witch cultists on his own, he got the media they had on hand, and that's how he and Emilia were able to get in contact, with the latter explaining all the important stuff, the important information she had gathered on the cultists through the Regulus and Capella conversation. Now, before we move on to the next scene, Al did acted a bit odd here. I won't go over too much in this video, but we should keep an eye on him. But outside of that, he had a point about Emilia acting so overly positive despite being kidnapped by a Sin Archbishop, no doubt. And that honestly just reminds me of a specific family member of mine. But this is to show that she has her faith in Subaru just that strongly rooted, as well as, despite how things are, she won't let despair or fear overcome her no giving up attitude. Something that I really do like for Emilia. So, moving on to the next scene, we have Aldebaran again, essentially arriving at where Subaru, Julius, and Anastasia are and informing them exactly what Emilia had informed him. Essentially being a messenger that helps Subaru in knowing the things he needs to, know in order to go and save Emilia. And after receiving this information, we have Garfield arriving to the scene, hugging Subaru since he was worried for his captain. Honestly, a pretty wholesome moment between two brothers from the looks of it. Like, they act like brothers. But before moving into the whole mini scene with Emilia and one of Regulus's wives, we can see that through this brief conversation that she was kind of hoping that Emilia had run away, both for Emilia's sake and so she can be killed by that bastard, because he would probably have done that in the guises that his soon-to-be wife, Emilia, ran away with his other wife, having done nothing in the matter. So, backtracking to Subaru's group, they know that the broadcast will assist with the problem of Wrath's authority and how her ability is essentially making everything worse with people, because it's kind of causing all of them to get affected by it. And by that, I mean she is essentially causing them to not only want to be alone, but all these emotions to be negative, and they amplify when you're alone. And it essentially brings out the worst of people. Now, the first worry is if using this broadcast would doom them all, but upon going over when the water came into the first district 2 episodes ago, it was done in a way that seemed more beneficial for them than for the witch cultist. Not to mention with Al saying that the Sin Archbishops have not lost a fight, more specifically the witches cult, so they probably wouldn't give a damn what they say in the broadcast, which changes the topic from that to who's going to be the one to do it. This is where we get each of them, aside from Subaru in a sense, saying why they can't. Like, Anastasia brought up that Subaru should do it, which Subaru deflected in saying that she should do it. And although Anastasia is a royal selection member, her name alone isn't strong enough to get rid of the anxieties that all the people have, since she's more of a business type person than a fighting type, which goes to the option of Krush. And since she's connected to, fighting, as well as her whole thing of taking lead in the fight against the White Whale. But as a reminder, she's still in no good shape to help out. Julius was considered as a better candidate for sure by Subaru with valid reasons. He's considered as the finest knight and a capable fighter. And, a knight. So it would make sense, though, from the looks of it, Julius doesn't believe he can live up to those expectations, as well as Anastasia kind of bringing up that if it's by, having it by name per se, then she's just still a better option in terms of recognition and talking skills. And although Subaru kept pushing this task to anybody else, even though he's probably the better option, Garfield essentially had to tell his captain that he is the best option in doing the speech to help everyone with their anxiety issues and, well, with the whole situation. And I love that Julius brought up, like, the events with season 1. Like, yeah, Subaru was very, well, he was in the wrong, especially considering he disrespected the Knights. But that conviction is something that not a lot of people have, and he saw that. So bringing that up, that's the conviction they need right now, is interesting. But also, Garfield brings up another thing that Subaru is obviously the most capable. Subaru beat a Synarchbishop. Betelgeuse Romani Conti, the Synarchbishop of Sloth. Now, interesting when obviously Julius and Anastasia are agreeing with this, and yet Al was opposed to it. It's suspicious how he basically acts like a version of Subaru would if he just put all his focus on the one he loves, I guess, in this case, with it being like Subaru loving Emilia and Aldebaran having some connections with Priscilla, and essentially not giving a damn about anyone else. But with all the development we have seen from season 1 and 2 for our boy, Natsuki Subaru, he gains the courage to not only take on the task of getting everyone's anxiety out, but take the burden that he'll be carrying by carrying everyone's hope. This also means that losing will hurt even more than before, as Al pointed out, since losing back then would essentially just be for him. Now if he loses, it's going to take a lot more of a toll, because like he's carrying everyone's hopes and survival onto him. Now, for the speech, Natsuki Subaru makes an amazing damn speech, because although it kind of started a bit odd, it's supposed to be relatable. Subaru isn't strong. He isn't this super isekai badass protagonist or an amazing knight, a great adventure, all this crazy labels. No, he's just human. A boy from another world that was thrown into all of the politics and all the crazy events in this world, and who not only strengthened his resolve to save everyone, but to also rely on those same people he cares about. This was Subaru giving the speech that he probably gives himself when he feels like giving up, as well as this speech helping his allies gain the resolve to not only want to keep going, but expressing unwavering conviction that they will be able to beat the witches cult and come out on top. This speech is the speech of the year from one, if not the best protagonist of all time. So, with everyone motivated and no longer antagonizing each other in terms of for the citizens, Emilia has shown that she's ready to deal with Regulus and won't run away. That, and trusting that Subaru is going to save her too. Subaru was praised by those around him, even though he kind of didn't really believe he did a good job, and also Al seemingly annoyed with him and just silent before Otto revealed himself to not only be alive, but have brought the one wild card that'll counter all what the witches cult have done as of now. The master swordsman himself, Reinhard von Estrella. Now, as for the speech, I might need to make a video to dissect every single little thing he says, because this is tied into Subaru's development. But as I said, because it's a damn amazing speech with a damn amazing OST that was chosen for said speech, the ranking for this episode is a fucking 100 out of 10. Just pure perfection.